Hey Waffle Gang, I do hope you're well. My name is Mark and today we're checking out some more Reddit stories, and if you do love a Reddit story, why not consider hitting that like, subscribe, maybe that notification bell too. And let's crack on with today's first story. Much love guys. Now today's first story comes from Throwaway Gym Help 12312 and it says, am I the arsehole for refusing to help a girl in the gym unless she stops recording me? I think I acted rudely with a girl in the gym and just wanted to get opinions on if I was the arsehole in this situation. I, 41 male, go to the gym early mornings around 5:30 am. There are generally few people that come to the gym at that time. There is a girl, early 20s, that also comes to the gym at the same time. We always say hello to each other and have small talk between our sets. She comes in early because the gym is empty. And she likes to record herself working out as she wants to be a fitness influencer or something. She seems dedicated and we know each other for at least a year. This morning, as I was working out, she came up to me and asked for help. She was very excited and told me that she wanted to go for a personal record on a barbell squat. She asked me if I could spot her as she was not confident if she'd be able to do it. I said okay, as this is not the most uncommon thing. But people were unfamiliar. This is an exercise where you carry a barbell with weights on your back and perform a squat. The spotter has to stand behind the person and support the person in case they fail to get up. As she was getting ready, I saw her phone in the corner and asked her if I can be off camera or if she can stop recording. She said she really wanted to record herself doing it and I will look good on camera. I told her that I really don't want to be on camera as my wife or co-workers may watch the video if she posts it online and may not look good for me. Another reason that I did not tell her was that she was wearing a very revealing outfit, small sports bra and tight shorts, and I really did not feel comfortable being recorded standing behind her. She promised me that she will record it for herself and not post a video. However, I did not want to be recorded. I told her that I really feel uncomfortable and if she waits for 30 minutes, one of the trainers may be able to help her. She became really upset and asked me why I'm making the situation weird. She accused me of sexualizing her. She asked me if she was a man, would I have done it? I felt she had a point as I've done it for other people. I told her that I would be okay doing it, but I just don't want to be recorded doing it. She again went on a rant about me body shaming her and me being uncomfortable with her perfectly fine outfit. I felt bad I upset her as she was just trying to work out. I've also asked people to spot me in the past and people always helped. However, I did not want to be recorded. Am I the arsehole for refusing to spot her because she was recording it? I don't want her to feel that it was because of her clothes or because she is a girl. However, as a married man, I need to observe some boundaries and really don't want to be recorded in that way with a girl half my age. I'm also worried that she recorded our whole conversation and may post it online. I do not know what I should do in this situation and I'm a bit worried. So the top commenter on this one said, not the arsehole, and quote, she became really upset and asked me why I'm making the situation weird, and then says, she is the one who made it weird by not immediately responding to your request to turn the camera off with, oh sure, no problem. And quotes again saying I felt bad that I upset her as she was just trying to work out. Opie says no she wasn't, she was trying to record a video for her social media followers. Moreover, she initially tried to involve you into this surreptitiously, without your permission, and pitched a fit when you declined. The only thing you did wrong was explaining to her why you didn't want to be recorded. You didn't owe her any such explanation. I don't want to be recorded is a complete sentence. Ashley Dawn says not the arsehole. People were pointing out the line of how you think it would look inappropriate if a co-worker or wife saw you aren't familiar with lifting. If she reached failure, it would absolutely look bad on you because people don't understand what spotting and having to assist with squats looks like. Opie says that was exactly what went through my mind. Plus, who knows what commentary someone can put on top of those videos to make it go viral. Owls and Cardinal says, ugh, not the arsehole. It was not okay for her to have this response or any response other than, okay, no problem, I'll turn it off, or okay, I'll wait for someone else. You did not make it weird. Lots of people are uncomfortable being filmed, especially by a practical stranger, and they have no idea how the video will be used. She's a major arsehole here. Loud Cricket says not the arsehole. It's perfectly valid for you to not want to be recorded. Even if she says she wouldn't post it, who knows if she really won't? Plus, context does matter. Being a 41-year-old man helping a pretty girl half your age wearing revealing clothing could easily be interpreted the wrong way. Your true intentions don't matter because at the end of the day, men are just viewed as pigs in the eyes of the world. You did yourself a favor by not feeding a possible narrative anyone could pin on you. As far as the conversation being recorded, I don't see how that could be damning. I can't see what would motivate her to post that conversation. But let's say she did. Did you say anything that could be incriminating? Not wanting to be recorded is a perfectly valid demand, and I think most people with basic common sense would understand why you wouldn't want to be recorded helping some hot little 20-something fitness girl. There was a big phase of those videos appearing all over social media about gym goers calling out other people, looking at them, etc. And obviously some are going to be legit, but others are just stirring for views and social media. There was one short I saw at one point where a guy was in the locker rooms, like in the changing rooms where everyone was getting changed, like butt naked. And in the background is a guy getting naked and he keeps pointing over his shoulder. And this was on like their short. They blurred it out, but this poor guy stood in the background getting changed. It was just like, come on, man. The person eventually did get actually banned from the gym, which was a good thing, but so OP comes back into the post with an update and says, I did not think it would blow up so much, that my wife got this story on a TikTok. What happened after was pretty much unexpected and my life is a bit absurd right now. I was worried that she would post our conversation about me refusing her help online and show me as the bad guy. I told my wife about the conversation and she said that she has seen posts where young girls do add nasty voiceovers and make men my age look like creeps for views. My wife told me that I should just complain to the gym management about her for recording me without my consent, just to get ahead of things. When I went to the gym next week, I saw her again. I tried to keep my distance, but she kept smiling at me. As I finished my set, she came up to me and asked if we could talk. She wanted to apologize for her behavior from the previous day and how it was wrong of her to assume that I'd be okay with her recording me. It was a pleasant surprise as I was not expecting that. I told her that it was okay, and I just don't like to be recorded in general. She followed me outside and continued the conversation. She asked me how long I've been working out and could I advise her on her form. I told her that there are some really good personal trainers in the gym I could recommend to her, but she told me that she is unemployed and cannot afford them. It says fun employed, which that did make me chuckle. She told me she will buy me a coffee if I can give her some pointers. At this point, I felt I was just being rude and told her sure, and we went to a nearby coffee shop. Her name is Haley. She graduated last year, moved back to her mum's house and is looking for a job. She was very chubby last year and wants to look like the TikTok fitness models and is trying hard to get in shape. We had a nice conversation and I was able to help her with some of her questions. She already knew my name and asked me if my wife would be okay if she follows me on Instagram. I told her that the main purpose of that account is for my wife to spy on my friends' lives, so I generally don't use it. She asked me if I use Snapchat and had to remind her that I'm twice her age. This is where it got crazy. When I came home, I told my wife about what happened. My wife loves her reels and TikTok and wanted to see if she ever posted the videos from the previous week. I only knew that her first name was Haley and how she looked and told my wife about it. When I came back from work in the evening, my wife was already home and sitting on the sofa. She was grinning ear to ear and told me immediately to sit next to her. Apparently this girl had been posting about me and calling me her gym crush for the last 2 months. My face is blurred out in all the videos. A lot of videos were her sitting in her car every morning and making up completely fictional romantic stories about our interactions. Each video had like 100+ likes, which my wife says is not a lot but feels like a lot. She had posted some videos of us just passing each other and smiling, or our conversation where I was telling her to stop recording, with voiceover about how I approached her in the gym and complimented her body. There was a video from that morning about her coming to me while I was packing up, with her saying how I asked her out for a coffee. She's just making up fictional romantic bullshit for getting likes and people were commenting and cheering for her. There were also other videos of her working out and posting in the gym locker room. My wife was laughing uncontrollably about how big of a sucker I am and how I'm internet famous now. I told her this needs to stop, but my wife insisted that she is too invested in the drama now and wants to see what happens next. She said that this girl is really young and just trying to establish herself and get more followers. Plus she has not done anything inappropriate and is not showing my face in the videos. My wife just wants me to play along and see what crazy Haley does next. So for the last 2 weeks, I've been going to the gym, talking to her every day, and my wife keeps me updated on what story she came up with for the day. We go for a coffee every Wednesday, and I'm mentoring her about her nutrition and what she should focus on, to the best of my abilities. It's all a game for my wife, and I do want Haley to succeed as long as she does not cross a line. However, the whole thing feels really crazy. I'm too old to deal with this shit. I'm not sure how long I can keep up with the act. Her behavior seems innocent, but also I'm getting a bit uncomfortable with the whole thing now. On the back of this, someone questioned OP. They said, "Did the girl know you're married?" And OP said yes, she knows I'm married. I wear my ring in the gym, and I also talk about my wife all the time to her. I also feel it's a bit weird for a 22-year-old person to make up stories. My wife feels she's just using me as an NPC in a fiction to gain more viewers and create drama. We discussed about it, and she told me about how some girls just make up stories about bad first dates on TikTok, and it gets them a lot of views. My wife feels it's weird, but I need to see the humor in this situation. At least it's entertaining, and she knows where her story goes next. Someone asked OP what the coffee discussions were like, and OP says, "What are the coffee discussions like?" It seems weird for her to do that if it's just for TikTok attention. It's easier for her to make stuff up. The coffee discussions are very fitness orientated, and she genuinely has legit questions. We do discuss stuff about our lives, mostly hers, and she shares her struggles in getting a job and life in general. For a Gen Z person. However, she has never said anything inappropriate. I feel she must have some footage of me passing her and smiling and greeting her, and just use that in her edits. So it was about a month later that OP made another update and said, "I wrote a post a month ago regarding a Haley, a girl at my gym asking me to spot her and me refusing to do it because she was recording me. The post blew up and I wrote an update where I told my wife, and she found out that Haley was just making up fictional stories about me being a gym crush for likes. My wife loves her TikTok drama and asked me to continue as it is, as she found Haley's post harmless and very amusing. These posts blew up and the last week has been crazy. First of all you guys are assholes. There were thousands of comments on my posts and not one of you told me that these Reddit posts are posted on TikTok. There were a few people who did dramatic readings of my post on TikTok last week, and millions of people saw it. One of them being my wife. I thought I was just venting here in anonymity about Haley and my wife. On Saturday morning, my wife came to me and asked me if I posted my story on Reddit. I asked her how she knows, because she never uses Reddit. She showed me some person doing a dramatic reading of the story. She was just giddy and asked me if it was really me posting the story. I told her yes, and she just lost it. She was laughing at how I was being so dramatic, talking about a very funny situation. Moreover, most of the TikTok commenters were cheering my wife, and I've never seen my wife being so happy since our wedding. We had a bunch of my friends invited for a barbecue party that evening. My wife was also telling me about my Reddit post and showing them the TikTok. At this point, multiple channels had posted it. Everyone was making fun of Haley's posts and teasing me. My friends even enacted what spotting a barbell squat looks like for their wives, and what happens when the person squatting fails. I really started feeling bad for Haley, as everyone was just making fun of her in her videos. I felt that we had taken things too far, and she did not deserve that kind of ridicule. I told my wife that night that I'm going to tell Haley that we know about her videos the next time we meet, as I feel we're just being mean to her at this point. My wife again started grinning and showed me the TikTok comments. Apparently a lot of people had already started snooping around TikTok and found a bunch of Haley's videos posting about their gym crush, and my Haley was one of them. Haley had not responded to any of the comments but had promptly deleted all her recent videos. I was horrified as a lot of people were accusing her of being a home wrecker and to stay away from married men. I felt so embarrassed that I just felt like I wanted to bury my face and disappear. All I wanted was quick feedback on Reddit. I never meant for all this to happen. As days went on, more and more people viewed the video, and Haley was still getting a lot of comments. My wife told me last night that almost 5 million people saw those videos. I really did not want to face Haley anymore and could not get myself to go to the gym for the last 2 days. Yesterday evening, Haley messaged me and asked me if I still plan to have coffee with her today, and my wife told me to just talk to her as she might also be feeling bad. My wife felt Haley was just doing childish things because she is a child, and I should apologize to her for causing her all this stress. I went to the gym today, and to say things were awkward between us at the start was an understatement. After my workout was done, Haley and I walked to the coffee shop nearby and had a chat. Before I could apologize to her, she started profusely apologizing to me for posting inappropriate posts about me on TikTok. She said that she was just having fun, and it was like a joke between all her friends. She told me that only her friends and family follow her, and she was just making up fun stories to entertain them. She didn't mean for it to blow up and for so many people to see them. She told me that she woke up this weekend and suddenly her TikTok had hundreds of views, likes, and messages. She was confused and checked, and everyone was commenting on her videos, calling her a homewrecker and crazy Haley. She realized that I had posted a Reddit story because of some of the comments and immediately felt embarrassed because she learned that my wife and I knew about her posting stuff about me. She deleted all her recent videos, but people seemed to still be finding her somehow and messaging her on older posts. Also, her friend's message saw what was happening, and she had to explain to her mum that she was not dating a married man. I also apologized to her and told her I did not know that Reddit posts blow up on TikTok and was just worried I offended her, but I did not spot her the other day. She was surprised that I did not know about TikTok, as it seems to be fairly common. I told her that my wife found her content funny, and so she asked me not to tell her. My wife felt she was talented and working so hard on her fitness to be an influencer. At the end, we just laughed about the situation. She told me she always wanted to know how it would be to be internet famous and enjoyed her 15 minutes of fame. Seems that things are back to normal. She has promised she will find another gym crush and we will continue being friends. Finally, I just wanted to ask everyone not to go and find Haley on TikTok and let her be. Please do not harass any Haleys on the internet because of me. I'm not going to disclose who the real one, so stop harassing all Haleys. They are not homewreckers and just young kids. Commenter says, a long-winded advertisement for Haley on TikTok. Opie says she's enjoying her new fame. Someone says, is it weird that I still hope Opie emotionally cheats on his wife with Haley, since I find his wife repulsive with the way she behaves? Opie says one of the reasons my wife finds it funny and not suspicious is because she knows me too well. Cheating and stuff just sounds like a lot of work to me, to be honest. I'm lucky to have a great wife and would love to keep it that way. Imaginary Yak says if the roles were reversed, they'd be calling the guy a creep and a perv. I thought this was creepy and pervy of the girl. And there was a lot of comments on the back of this one just criticizing everyone in this story. The wife leading this all on and encouraging the husband to do so, the husband actually doing it, and Haley for all her behavior in this as well. A lot of comments just saying I don't like anyone in this story. But what do you guys make of this situation? Let us know your thoughts down in the comments below. Let's move on to another story. Now, our next story comes from Pretty Story 9024 from the True Off My Chest subreddit, and it says, my roommate sent me a condescending checklist and then lost her mind when I stood up for myself. I, female 22, live with a roommate, female 27, who frankly barely cleans. I'm the one who's constantly wiping counters, taking out the trash, doing dishes, cleaning up after a dog when she doesn't, all while working full time, trying to keep the peace. I don't nitpick, I don't complain every time I clean something up. I just try to do my part and sometimes hers, so the place stays livable. But the one time she finally decides to clean, and by clean, I mean wipe the stove and toss out some trash, she texts me this long message while I'm at work. Not to have a conversation, but to give me a passive-aggressive list of reminders about wiping the stove after I use it, putting my drinks away, emptying the dishwasher before she needs it, and sticking to some decor-only counter rule that she mentioned once forever ago, like it was a binding contract. She even made a weird point to say she cleaned out oil and asparagus in the trash, like that was some noble act that needed public acknowledgement. The message was condescending, and it honestly caught me off guard. I told her I got the message, and while I understood being overwhelmed, the delivery was unnecessary. I reminded her that I've been pulling my weight, and after cleaning up after her and her dogs more than she probably realizes. I said if we're going to start keeping tabs, I'll just stop cleaning up her messes too. I also said her burnout isn't mine to carry, that we both live here, and I shouldn't have to walk on eggshells or be guilt tripped just because I'm in the same space. She came back defensive, accusing me of overreacting, saying she was just asking me to pick up after myself, and calling me a little girl for having feelings about how she talked to me. Then we ended up fighting in person, where she kept gaslighting me, telling me I was delusional and twisting everything I said. I snapped and called her a bitch. Not proud of it, that part crossed the line and I owned it. I sent her a respectful apology for the name calling. I told her I shouldn't have said that, but I stood by the boundary I was setting. I let her know that I wasn't going to keep going in circles, and that all I wanted was for us to live respectfully and decently, nothing more. Her response? It said, "You fucked up real bad. You're going to want to bite your tongue next time, little girl. You extremely crossed the line beyond my boundaries. Keep your apology and stick it up your ass, you delusional bitch. Don't stop going to therapy either." Opie continues, "So that's where we are now. I guess I struck a nerve. I've been trying to be the adult, do my share, and not make everything a thing. But the one time I speak up and set a boundary, I'm suddenly the problem. She acts like I'm a monster for reacting to her disrespect, when all I've been doing is trying to live peacefully in a space we both pay for. I'm tired of walking on eggshells around people who can dish it out but lose their minds when it's handed back to them. I'm not perfect, but I've been fair. I've tried, and now I'm just done. Thanks for letting me get that out." The first commenter said, "Any way to find a new place to live?" Opie said, "My lease ends soon, and I already have my next apartment in mind. She threatened to end the lease now, but I can't afford it, and I'm not sure if she can either." Then Zava says, "That's why. You guys are already planning to part ways. She can't deal with mild abandonment issues, so she picked a fight and dug in as hard as she could." Opie says, "I had a weird dream about her begging me to renew the lease with her." Commenter says, "I had a roommate like yours. I tried cleaning after her and not cleaning after. Doesn't matter. She never changed. I ended up kicking her out my house. I lost a good friend, all because she wouldn't take responsibility for cleaning her messes and breaking everything in my house. Some people never change, and it's best to get out." Opie says she's been like this since we moved in, so I realized quickly that there's no compromising with her. But I also love a clean space, so I do my part as much as I can. I'm just blindsided by the way she reacted and the words she used. It was around 9 days later that Opie came in with her update and says, "Hey everyone, first off, thank you so much for the love and support on my last post. I didn't expect it to get so much attention, and honestly, reading your comments really helped me feel less alone. Life has been chaotic, and I wanted to give an update on where things stand. A couple of days after the fight with my roommate, where she disrespected me after I apologized, I slowly started moving my stuff back into my room. One of the things was my Snapware Pyrex set from Costco. I'd originally let her use it, but it's mine, and I always intended to take it with me when I moved out. Anyways, I found one of them in the fridge with some soggy chicken that had clearly been sitting there for days. It looked gross, so I tossed it. When she got home and realized I threw her food away, I threw away her food. She got super mad and started loudly talking shit about me on the phone to whoever she was talking to. I ignored it and just went to bed. The next morning I was showering and getting ready. She starts yelling at me, asking where the trash bags are. I asked which ones, because I had bought the last pack and there was no way we had finished them. She starts gaslighting me, saying that they were hers from the shop, whatever that means. I was too tired for the drama, so I just gave her the trash bags and told her not to use my stuff anymore. She flipped and said I was unbearable to live with, that I should just leave, and that she wanted me gone. So I said, "You know what? Fine, I'll leave." Later that day I went to the leasing office to explain the situation. They gave us 3 options. 1, we both transfer to separate units. 2, we break the lease early. 3, I drop my name off the lease, pay a fee, and she shows proof, pay stubs that she can afford the rent on her own. Later that night she texted me asking, "Do you want to leave or do you want me to?" I said, "I'll leave." I told the leasing office and I asked them to follow up with her for the pay stubs so we could move forward. That same day I went to tour an apartment I'd been eyeing. It was the exact unit I wanted and I applied immediately. Fast forward to today, I got approved. I'm moving in tomorrow. But here's where it gets messy again. A few days ago I asked the leasing office if they'd received her pay stubs. They said no, even though they'd asked her 3 times and she kept saying she'd emailed them. She never did. So today I texted her again, letting her know I'm moving out and that the leasing office still needs her pay stubs. She responds, "I can't." I asked, "What do you mean you can't?" She says she can't send them or she can't afford it, which she never expressed that she couldn't afford it. Honestly, still don't know what she meant. I reminded her this was the option she agreed to, and if she wanted to stay, this is what needed to happen. I told her again, "I'm moving out. If you want to stay here, that's on you." Then she says, "Let's just break the lease then." I told her I can't afford that, which is why I agreed I'd just leave and she'd stay. She responds, "I don't care about ruining my credit." I left her undelivered after that. Then 30 minutes later she goes, "I guess I have to leave too then." Honestly don't know if she's just being petty, playing games, or genuinely doesn't understand the situation. But tomorrow I'm going back to the leasing office to sort it out once and for all. I feel stuck and frustrated, but I'm also so ready to get out of this toxic situation. Wish me luck. Any advice is welcome. Thanks again to everyone who's been following this journey. It means more than you know. The amount of comments below that post talking about their bad roommate experiences is just... I'm really glad I've never been in that sort of situation before, honestly. But what do you guys make of this situation? And if you have your own roommate stories, maybe we can make a dedicated episode out of it. Post your stories over on r/marknarrations over on Reddit, or you can get in contact with me other ways in the email, which you can find on this channel. But just a huge thank you for being here today, getting involved in the stories, your love, your support, your time. It always means the absolute world to me. So thank you so much for being here. And hopefully I'll see you in the next one. Take care and much love.
Wake up, get up, stretch my legs, eat some breakfast, milk and eggs, brush my teeth up, wash my face, throw my clothes on, start my day. Wake up, I can smell the smoke from the bacon. Let's go,